First off, though, the reason why this press conference was organized through the Pikes Peak Elder Abuse Coalition, just to give some brief background on the coalition, it's a coalition that consists of many different community members, to include the Adult Protective Services through the El Paso County Department of Human Services, Colorado Springs Police Department, Colorado Springs Fire Department, Silver Key, and the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. There's many more community resources that are part of this coalition. However, I'm not going to name each of them at this point. In addition, the coalition gets together once every 3 months. We discuss elderly issues within the community and discuss ways in order to address those issues. So to begin, I want to talk about the new mandatory reporting law and what it is. As of July 1st, 2014, there was a new law that was passed regarding mandatory reporting regarding the elderly population. Just to give you some background, any person that is 70 years of age or older is considered elderly within our community per state statute. Therefore, there are certain things that medical professionals and other people must report when they look at or when they see elder abuse within the community. Some of those items are some of the people that must report are medical professionals, social workers, law enforcement officers, court-appointed guardians, and conservators. It also includes fire protection personnel, community-centered board staff, financial institution, care facilities, home care placement agencies, and clergy. I'm going to go ahead and let Sergeant Mihalko talk a little bit more about what exactly must be reported, but I do want to emphasize that failing to report any elder abuse thing within our community could be considered a Class 3 misdemeanor and can include up to 6 months in jail and or a fine of $750. Regarding Colorado Springs Police Department, some of the things that we've seen in regards to elder abuse since mandatory reporting has taken place are as follows. In 2013, the Colorado Springs Police Department took 1,364 cases regarding victims of elder abuse, and that includes people who are 70 years of age and older. In July of 2014, the Colorado Springs Police Department had 141 cases, and that just means case reports that were taken. And that is up as last year, our highest amount in any month time was 133 case reports taken. In addition, the Colorado Springs Police Department has received 49 referrals from Adult Protective Services regarding elder abuse, which is also up, as our highest amount prior to July 1st of 2014 was 39, and that was in January of 2014. Also, when we're talking about referrals from Adult Protective Services, the Colorado Springs Police Department has processed 150 referrals received to and from Adult Protective Services, and that includes all at-risk adults, not just elderly, but the entire at-risk adult population. Our previous high for the year was 93. And so with that in mind, I want to turn it over to Sergeant Mitchell Mihalko. He's a sergeant with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office and is with their investigations division.
Good afternoon. Sergeant Mihalko with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Investigations Division. First and foremost, I want you guys to know that the El Paso County Sheriff's Office is honored to be part of the Pikes Peak Elder Abuse Coalition. It's a coalition of a number of professionals, a number of community partners out there that has done quite a bit of good in the community so far. A little bit about what we're going to be talking about today on my part, what to report. Essentially, what the mandate law indicates is that you must report observed abuse or exploitation of an at-risk elder, or if there's any reasonable cause to believe an at-risk elder has been abused or exploited or is in imminent risk of abuse or exploitation. The mandated reporter is required to report within 24 hours of this observation and discovery to law enforcement. Some examples of this that we have seen in the past: theft, robbery, financial exploitation cases, assault cases, sexual assault cases. Caretaker neglect is also a new crime that has been added to the statute. So how does one report? Law enforcement is going to attempt to collect a number of pieces of information, and just understand that this is These pieces of information are a possible minimum that they're going to attempt to collect. Now, if the reporter does not have these specific pieces of information, law enforcement will still take the report. However, by statute, we're looking for a few things. First is the name, age, address, and contact information of the at-risk elder. Next is the name, age, address, and contact information of the reporting person. Additionally, we're looking for the name, age, address, and contact information of any elder's caretaker as well, and the name of the alleged perpetrator. The nature and extent of the at-risk elder's injury, whether it's physical or financial, the nature and extent of the condition that required the report to be made, and also any other pertinent information that the reporting party has at that point. For contact with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, you should contact your law enforcement agencies to report, and residents of the unincorporated portions of El Paso County should contact through non-emergent incidents to the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Communications Center at 719-390-5555. And any resident of the city of Colorado Springs should report through Colorado Springs Police Department Communications Center at 719-444-7000. If there is an emergent situation or emergent report, please make sure to use the 911 systems that are currently in place. Some of the statistics that the El Paso County Sheriff's Office has seen over the last year, we have seen an actual decline of 6.3% in overall crime where the victims are 70 or older over the past year. Reports for July 1 through August 8, in comparison between 2013 and 2014, were pretty much even with no significant rise or increase in the first month of mandatory reporting in our agency. With that in mind, I'm going to turn this over to Chris Garvin with Department of Human Services to talk a little bit about community resources.
Thank you, Mitch. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chris Garvin. I'm the Deputy Executive Director here at DHS, and I'd like to welcome you all to the Citizen Service Center. The collaboration through the Pikes Peak Elder Abuse Coalition has been a wonderful one for all of us to pool our resources together in this community and to help those who cannot protect themselves. Through the coalition last year, we've been able to create some resources and to get information and assistance out to the community. The first one is our website here on this monitor. It's www.stopandpreventelderabuse.com. It has resources about how to report elder abuse, how to mandatory reporting information, about community partners, and how to contact law enforcement and adult protective services. And there's links to all the partner agencies on this website. We've also created these cards, community cards that we hand out through all our partnerships, and they have information on how to report abuse, neglect, the common risk factors and signs. We call it Speak Up, which is an easy way to remember that. So we have these cards available there on the table also, so grab some when you leave today. Since mandatory reporting law went into effect in July, the El Paso County Department of Human Services has seen an increase into our adult protection unit. In July of 2013, we had 114 reports, and this July we received 179 reports. That's an increase of 57%. In 2013, we had a monthly average of 85 reports, and so far this year we saw an increase to 120.4. So we are seeing the effects of mandatory reporting, and that's a 41% increase over last year. At the Department of Human Services, we focus on at-risk adults who are elderly or disabled, who are in danger of abuse, neglect, exploitation, and self-neglect. Our caseworkers go out and assess the need for protection and directly intervene if necessary. The assistance is available is through medical care, community resources, mental health referrals, or living arrangements being made. And if you suspect adult abuse going on, exploitation or neglect, please contact our Adult Protection Intake line at 719-444-5755. I'm glad I remembered that. Or email us at dhs-aps@elpasoco.com. And with that, I'm going to introduce Pat Ellis, the CEO of Silver Key, one of our major partners.
Good afternoon. As many of you know, Silver Key has worked with seniors in our community for over 40 years. And we are really pleased about the development of the Pikes Peak Elder Abuse Coalition because it's made a huge difference for the seniors who are experiencing elder abuse in our community. We've heard from law enforcement and DHS about mandatory reporting and how it's required. And oftentimes, as we've done trainings, one of the questions becomes, how do I know if I'm a mandatory reporter? Silver Key is the advocate for seniors in our community, and what I'd like to say to anyone who asks themselves that question is just report because it's the right thing to do. It's not necessarily because you're a mandated reporter. As I mentioned, and everyone else has mentioned, there are many services for seniors in our community, and you've heard phone numbers and places to contact. I would like to encourage you, if you aren't aware of what services there are, such as Meals on Wheels, transportation, advocacy, and case management for our seniors, to call either Silver Key at 884-2300 or the Area Agency on Aging at 471-7080. Anyone who answers those phones can send you in the right direction. But again, I just want to emphasize, we all are mandatory reporters, but we all want to do it because it's the right thing to do. Thank you.
Now that we've had the opportunity to listen to our panel up here, we want to open up the opportunity for any questions. I think we're seeing an increase based on a multitude of different things. I think the first aspect is we have educated a lot of community members about mandatory reporting. Through the Pikes Peak Elder Abuse Coalition, we had a subcommittee that was tasked specifically with education and outreach. Since May of 2012, that subcommittee was responsible for 36 different presentations throughout our community where they talked about the mandatory reporting law, they talked about what to report, gave specific examples like Sergeant Mahalko gave, and just really encouraged the caregivers for the elderly population to come forward and report any suspected abuse or exploitation to law enforcement. So I believe that's why we've been seeing the increase, is because we haven't just started this on July 1st, 2014. This has been something that's been in effect since May of 2012.
With the addition of 1A deputies on the roads, as well as our, we have a senior outreach team also that does a little bit of more, that does more work with the folks that are victims in these types of scenarios as well, beyond the law enforcement piece. So I think that's the thing to bring out as well, is that there are other resources in place besides just the law enforcement portion of it that the sheriff's office is taking.
Well, typically with mandatory reporting laws that are going into effect in other states, they've seen a 20% increase. So you kind of do the math. I think our assignment rate's gone up slightly from what I was able to analyze. Maybe Catherine can talk more about that if you have that information. We only have a couple months to deal with right now, so it's kind of shocking what we've seen so far. And my analysis is that we've assigned a few more cases than we had in the past. And also, I think the population center, most of our seniors are probably within the city limits of Colorado Springs, so that would affect CSPD more proportionally than maybe the county, the sheriff's office. Yeah, in my experience, it's the next door neighbor that also reports, and family members,
At some point, maybe a year
hospitals,
down the road,
doctors.
we were able to look at that to see if we're really getting the reach out into the community as a whole, or is it just really those that the law was intended for as those professionals, or have we been able to go a little further?
We should be able to do more, because with mandatory reporting, we have more resources. We have some client services funds. We have a new computer system that's just for APS, and that will pull a lot of data for us. So we're really excited about having that available to us. So in a year, we should have some really good data.
Well, and I hope an opportunity like this will be one more opportunity for us to advertise to the community.
Any additional questions?
So basically, we have all these extra reports. These numbers are going up. Can you talk a little bit about, is staffing increasing too, and have you been increasing staffing in the meantime, or what does that picture look like? Can you handle these reports basically?
And I can just speak for the Colorado Springs Police Department. The Colorado Springs Police Department now has 2 detectives that are specifically assigned to investigate elder abuse. Those detectives are responsible for investigating cases of any abuse of the elderly population, to include physical or sexual abuse, and that would be for victims age 70 or over. And they also investigate those same type of crimes for individuals age 60 to 69 with what's called a qualifying disability, to make them in that at-risk population. So with Colorado Springs Police Department, we have 2 detectives that are specifically available, and that's their specific assignment is to investigate those types of cases. In regards to other staffing, I'd have to refer to the other agencies.
In regards to El Paso County Sheriff's Office, there's been an increase in the training that was provided to our patrol deputies. Our patrol deputies are first responders on a lot of these calls, and they're the ones that make the initial determination as to where the case is going to end up. I can tell you right now what we have done is in our investigations division, we've identified and assigned a specific deputy, or excuse me, a specific detective to handle any of those incoming cases at this point. Now, if that does increase in the number of cases, we'll have to take a look at additional resources. But right now, there's one detective that is specifically assigned to elder abuse cases.
Is that new?
It is newer, yes.
So again, along with mandatory reporting, the county receives some additional funds to enhance staffing for adult protective service. So we went from 5 caseworkers to 7, and we have an additional position available to us as we find the need to increase that.
Then from the perspective of advocacy, we were able to receive funding in order to put an advocate at Colorado Springs Police Department to work closely with their unit, Kristen, who's in the audience now. So we are over there full-time and provide support both to CSPD and to Silver Key jointly.
Is there any other questions? All right, well, I thank you all for your time.